Welcome to Open Range. I'm Perry Schumacher of West Fargo in tonight for Gary Emineth. I've got as a guest Leon Francis of Blackbeard Logic. Leon has been on a few times with me. We go back a ways, and it's always interesting to have conversations with him. Leon, you getting excited for the 4th of July?
Very much so. I figured out that God made diesel fuel for one specific purpose, and that's for burn piles.
Leon also a co-host with me on a Due North political podcast, so we enjoy that. We do that every couple of weeks. But Leon, tonight it's serious questions for serious people, and let's dive into it, okay?
Let's get it.
So last week I ended my show talking about the self-induced suicide of Great Britain. The day the music died was when the political correctness arrived on its shores. I want to show a remark in a graph here, Luke, by Elon Musk regarding Great Britain's focus. If you see this graph, you're going to see, rather than being concerned about the 250,000 rapes of young children, Great Britain is more concerned with censorship and social media. They lead the world in censorship arrests based on social media posts. Leon explained to the viewers how the left already demonstrated under Biden how this is going to be coming to America.
Well, that's a long list. I mean, I looked at that list. That's like 33 arrests per day. It's crazy. And then they were censored, talking about Britain. Those folks were censored for talking about the things that were going on in their communities, and things that were destructive to their communities. I mean, it's horrible. And were it not for like specific hardy folks that didn't mind going to jail, we would never know most of that stuff that was going on. And then you look at what happened under the Biden administration. You think about the Twitter files and related disclosures. Again, Elon Musk, he acquired Twitter, and then all this stuff comes out. The internal documents revealed repeated pressure from the Biden White House and the Surgeon General, the CDC, the FBI, DHS, CISCA, like all over and the targets were the folks that were talking about very real issues with COVID-19 vaccines. The lab leak discussion, which we all know is true now. And then the Hunter Biden laptop stories. Who could forget about that? And then you got the House Judiciary weaponization of the committee reports. Now, these detail how the White House and federal agencies ran a sustained campaign to coerce big tech into changing the moderation policies. You think about that. Even when the context was true or satirical, Facebook, YouTube, others, they adjusted policies in response. My own social media was shadow banned repeatedly. I think it still is with some topics. My reach, like this year alone, I'm at 1,000,005. I'm on track to be 2,000,005 to 3,000,000 views. But some of my posts, will get like 3 interactions. How's that possible? That's Missouri versus Biden. Murphy versus, Missouri litigation. States and individuals sued, alleging unconstitutional government coercion of private platforms. Again, what happened to me? So I know this is real, and I know that it runs parallel to what Elon is saying because I have experienced it. They show like a shared pattern. Officials prioritizing control over debate when speech threatens the official narrative. Like in the UK, vague, offensive communication laws plus political correctness led to ignoring grooming gangs for years. And if you don't know what a grooming gang is, you should research it. Like it is unbelievable. And then rapid arrest for people that spoke out about immigration, Islam, or government failures online. I saw a video of people. The cops are knocking on their doors. I need to ask you if you made this post.
Yep.
That's unbelievable to me. And then here in the U.S. under Biden, Federal agencies pressured platforms to suppress stories, viewpoints on COVID origin policies. And who can forget about when we talk about the election, uh, the lady that was just released from prison?
Yep.
You know, she went to prison for a thing that other people just got probation for or slap on the wrist. And all she was doing is exposing the rot. That's it.
I think we had somebody go to jail because they put a meme out of Hillary Clinton, remember?
I do remember that. Yeah.
The gentleman's name, I think he's been in jail a few times in Britain, Tommy Robinson. I think that's right. He's trying to bring this to the forefront, and they're close to civil war in Britain because of what's happened to their children with the Muslim community. And then you add this censorship, like you said, you even bring that up, you have a chance to go to jail. Hell, this week they're suffering through a heat issue in Europe, and you're going to jail if you use air conditioning.
Did you know that more people have died from heat this year in France than were killed by gun violence in America? Did you know that?
No, but it doesn't surprise me, right? Because and that's my point from last week, is this is coming to our shores. This is here. This is here. We're just a few years behind Britain in some of this stuff as far as the left is concerned. But me and you are the people we got to be worried about. I mean, serious.
100%. I worry. Well, I used to worry driving around Fargo with a MAGA sticker. You know, I worry about whether or not my business is going to be negatively affected. I worry about if I say, well, I used to. I don't so much now, but I worry about if I say something publicly, will it be construed as, inciting hatred or inciting, like they went after Donald Trump for the same thing. When the guy explicitly said peacefully, go to the Capitol on January 6th. I mean, he said that a couple of times, yet they spun it. They tried to impeach him over it. Like it absolutely, if Democrats get control of the reins of power again, guaranteed, because they cannot run. They can't allow the narrative to change. They can't let the truth get out, because once that does, it completely dissimulates. Well, not dissimulates. I'm thinking of the word, but dismantles their narrative, and people will see them for who they are.
Do you think there's ever going back in Britain now? I mean, I know people go to the streets and things like that, but the police state is pretty difficult to subdue once it gets power. I just don't know if Britain's ever going to be what Britain was.
I doubt it. They allowed the rot to set too long. Plus, they don't have the Second Amendment, and that's key. And I'm a huge Second Amendment guy. I'm on the Guns of the 701 network for a reason, and that is the primary reason that you push back. Like a lot of my critics say, I'm like a dog with a bone. I'll take a little issue and I'll just be tenacious on it. And the reason I am is because I understand what creeping tyranny is. That's exactly what England has. People like Tommy Robinson, who has the testicular fortitude to stand up to the government. Once they become violently tyrannical, there's not a lot he can do. There's not a lot he can do because he's not armed. They're talking about now. Well, they already have. You have to be 18 to buy a knife, like a steak knife or something. So they don't even have knives over there. The immigrants do. The illegal immigrants do.
Yes, you could be killed by a Muslim, but Pakistan, but you can't have one.
You remember the guy that murdered that 17-year-old, when he called their version of 911, he said, "I was attacked racially." And so the cops let the white guy die out. He let him die right at their feet because, obviously he's the bad guy. And when the rot is set that deep, when the cops can physically look at a guy and he's talking, no bruises, no nothing, and then you got you laying on the ground, you're bruised up, bleeding out, and he takes that guy's word, that means the rot is so deep, they're going to need help. I mean, they're going to need help.
It's spread to Scotland, Ireland, it's all over there. It's a disease, and once it's in, it metastasizes. It's a tough word for Perry, but you know what I mean. It becomes a problem to remove, and we just can never allow that here. I mean, I said last week in Perry's perspective, you had the person on the phone from the police department say, "Don't call the man Asian," and you should be glad that you're learning another culture as you're being raped.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
I read those. Oh my! I couldn't get through them. Like I was reading them over with my wife, and we had to stop. I like these stories are unbelievable. I posted on it, and you guys should probably go back and like read up on it. It is brutal, dude.
Yeah, but Starmer had to resign. That is one of many factors, but there should be resignations all throughout city council, however their governments or local governments are set up over there. Police department should be set on fire. I mean, literally, figuratively, because I mean, people should be fired and held responsible for what happened here. And it never really happens on the left, right? We see it in our country. Nobody ever really gets held responsible for anything. Folks, we've got to head to break number one. We'll be back with Leon Francis of Blackbeard Logic as soon as the break is over.
So we talk about silver, and we talk about the concept of using it from the health perspective. How did you, Jeffrey Adam, come back to the silver as being that health product, and how does it differ, mycronic silver that is, differ from the other products that are maybe saying they're made with silver as well?
Well, I was blessed enough to meet a gentleman who was a nuclear biochemical engineer. He was proclaimed one of 8 in the world, and he introduced me to silver when I had gotten pneumonia. And it was actually my 4th time in 6 years getting pneumonia. And every time I got sick, it basically took about 3 months to get over. And, massive amounts of prednisone and Z-Paks and a whole lot of money to take 6 months to be fully recovered, where I got my wind back. And when he introduced me to the silver product he had, that he made himself, literally in 3 days, the next morning, the pain in my lungs was gone. And in 3 days, I was where it took me 6 months of antibiotics to get to. And that's when I was like, well, we really need to start doing something with this. And this gentleman said, no, they will kill you. They don't want you to have it. You're affecting their profits. And that's when I started doing the deep dive into a colloidal silver, which was used for thousands of years. And then as it progressed, they went to an ionic silver, which is a silver ion, not a particle. And then from there, they went to a nano silver, which is a nano particle of silver. And through my education through this gentleman, I learned that, as you're looking with particles of silver, the colloidal silver, when you hear these stories of people turning blue with a condition called ageria, it was from particles that were over 10 parts per million. So when you do a colloidal silver over 10 parts per million, they start forming bigger structures. I equate them to biofilms. They're not actually a biofilm, but they create larger clusters that aren't absorbed into the body. And then people would go out in the sun and it would dye their skin a bluish gray color. And then I looked into a nano silver, and nanos are particles, and they're subatomic particles, and they're changed with static electricity or current, because you can't spin a metal or a mineral fast enough to break it apart. And they're changed with current. Well, when you're sick, your body becomes acidic, and your bodies are polar. So if it's changed with current, it can be flipped or made toxic with current too. So I stayed away from the nano silvers. So that just left the silver ions. And these products have been used for hundreds of years. When it came to the ion and any silver, it's only active in the body for 6 to 8 minutes. When I developed mycronic silver, we made a product that is actually active for 8 to 10 hours. And there's a whole big story behind it.
Welcome back to Open Range. I'm Perry Schumacher. With me tonight is Leon Francis of Blackbeard Logic. Leon also does a podcast with me, Due North Political Podcast. Leon, we're going to go to serious question 2. America is the greatest country in the world. Many who have fallen from public favorability often get second chances. From presidents like Nixon and George W. Bush to Hollywood and music stars like Robert Downey Jr. and Elton John. We love the redemptive arc. I bring this up because I believe there's an attempt to push a very big boulder up a very steep hill going on, and that is the remaking of Hunter Biden's image. Have you noticed this? You're on social media, you're aware of things. Have you noticed the pushing of Hunter upon us, how reasonable a person he is?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So he has a ramped up activity on X, particularly posting like frequently with he does this whole self-deprecating humor about his addiction history and that sort of thing, defending his dad, criticizing the media like Jake Tapper and discussing sobriety and recovery and politics and the media outlets they are loving this. They're rebranding him, as the image of rehabilitation. That's radical honesty is what they're saying. And America loves, we love a good comeback story like Robert Downey Jr., Elton John. But the boulder for Hunter Biden remains steep due to very public records of legal convictions and business dealings and personal conduct. And this kind of pairs with the last segment too, because I remember posting pictures of Hunter Biden with a crack pipe and like pictures from his laptop, and they being censored, taken down off of all of my social media. So, and I don't know, we can talk about this, but I could enumerate the crap storm that was Hunter Biden's life, and we can do that. But yeah, I've noticed.
But I don't think this one better not work. It's not going to work on my side. It better not work on the right. We know plenty of his personal and what a mess he is, but I don't think we've ever really gotten to the bottom of Hunter's business dealings. And man, that guy is a genius. He was on a lot of very, very sophisticated boards that help the old man make a lot of cash. You know what I mean? I just think it's right now the Bidens are hurting for money because the spigot has been turned off, and Hunter's he probably gets paid to appear on these things. But did you buy any of his artwork, Leon?
Absolutely not. And that alone, that alone should open up investigation because that was clearly influence peddling. It was clear. The dude, he paints like a one-arm. Well, I guess I can't say that word, but like not a smart guy. He paints like he has an IQ of a Somalian national. I'll just say it that way. But we got to remember, like the whole Burisma board position. Like I remember conservative pundits talking about this ad nauseum. And then you got Devin Archer. He comes out, he talks about it. Clearly corruption, clearly influence peddling. And it also bleeds over into the whole Ukraine. Trillions of dollars we spent in Ukraine, and nobody's talking about that.
Vicious circle there. I saw he was on the Gavin or Newsom's podcast. Can you imagine more two slimy individuals than those two guys sitting in the same room hashing it out, talking about life's problems? I mean, honest to God.
Yeah, birds of a feather, man. All those guys are corrupt, and we all know it. Yet I wish I had that Teflon skin. I really do. Or you could just your foibles are out there, but you're so confident in your cover and the media covering for you that you'll just go right out there and do this thing. It amazes me. The laptop alone should have sent that guy in a hole. Like it is everything from child pornography, everything from open drug and crack use, everything from. We forget that he returned a rental car with cocaine all over the dashboard. I mean, dude.
The other thing, we can't find out it's his cocaine in the White House, but for some reason we don't. We have our president in there. We don't get to know that.
Yeah. That was unreal. Everybody's asking, I wonder whose crack this could be. And then you got Hunter standing over in the corner rolling the doobie. You're like, what? Why are you looking at me? And nobody wants to dig into that. I'm still waiting on that answer, as a matter of fact.
I know you're a Sean Ryan fan. You watch his show on
Yep.
social media. He even had Hunter Biden on. That blew my mind.
Yep.
He let him spew. I mean, I call these guys, you knew some Hunter Biden people like that. They're sociopaths. Yep. They can look you straight in the eye and tell you it's sunny outside. You know what I mean? And you got hail. You know, I mean, it's just, I mean, they can flat out bring it.
Yep. I tried to watch that, and I do subscribe to Sean Ryan. I think he has a lot of influential guests. I like to hear those different opinions. This is going to bleed over into another segment, though. But Sean Ryan did come out and say he did not believe a word out of Hunter Biden's mouth. So, but when he has people on his podcast, he pushes back a little bit. I believe with Hunter Biden, he didn't push back as much because, you know, you want guests to come on and be comfortable talking and just kind of expose themselves, which Hunter Biden did. I couldn't even watch it because I just find him dishonest and distasteful.
It's one of the worst families in American history. And as far as I'm concerned, it should go down as that. And that the wife even allowed all this stuff to go on, dementia patient. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Perry's not going to fall for the Hunter Biden redo part 2.0. I don't look at it as sincere. I think we'll find him doing cocaine again here in the near term. We're going to go to subject 3, Leon. Speaking of something else that's bizarre, Leon, were we fools for taking Tucker Carlson seriously before Charlie's assassination, or are the fools the people that takes him seriously now?
Well, I am not going to.
I brought you on for tough questions, Leon.
Well, I'm going to say from the outset, neither group are fools, okay. And I'm going to break it down. And I know Charlie Kirk's assassination hit me hard, as it did a lot of folks. Founder of TPUSA, brilliant strategist, solid pro-life guy, solid Christian guy. He took the conversation where guys like me and you couldn't take it. We don't have the patience for that. Charlie Kirk did. So losing that voice was huge. And Tucker was his friend. He eulogized him. But I also can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So you asked, is the group before the assassination, were they fools? No, I don't consider myself a fool because what Tucker brought to the table, what he did was he exposed all of this stuff that was going on that we had an inkling was going on, but we didn't know. And he used all of that data, and he drew through lines through that data, and he did that convincingly, and he was a very, very smart guy. He knew how to do that. I mean, you think about he questioned the FBI investigations handling and pushback for more transparency. He wanted them to cough up the facts. He warned against the Trump administration or others exploiting. Well, no. That give me a second. When he was exposing what the FBI was doing to Trump, when he was exposing what the inner workings of the swamp was doing, all of that was good. What's that?
The Russian hoax stuff.
Yeah, the Russian hoax stuff. All of that stuff. That was good. And so on the backside of that, I see folks like Tucker and Candace and Megyn Kelly and all of that stuff. And I still can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I just can't. I mean, I can reject somebody. I can understand you're hurt. I mean, with the exception of his stance on Islam. That's where he does a complete 360. I mean, I believe you're a fool if you ingest that BS. Tucker's strength has been a pattern recognition of elite failures. But on this, craps the bed completely by sidelighting patterns that are clearly visible in statistics and testimonies from Muslims, reformists, like all of those people, European outcomes, all of that data. He 360 on that, and concern is warranted if it influences policy away from realism toward wistful, mostly peaceful framing. So that I reject. And the folks, and I have a lot of people in my audience, a lot of friends of mine that take what he says about Islam, just completely disregard the facts on Islam, and they're going the Tucker route. So on that, I think they're fools.
I think it used to be where I just took his word as gospel, and now I have to use a little discernment every time he speaks and think about it. Too often I find lately that he doesn't even compare apples to oranges. He compares apples to elephants.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, whoa, where did you get there? Where did you get those two together? You know what I mean? And that's where he's kind of lost me. So I now, Megyn Kelly the same way. I have to just kind of think a little bit, and do I even want to listen to this because I know where he's going to go, or maybe I'll just pass this one by and get to his next view, and that is, it's just something, but I'll always know what he did in his Fox years. Those monologues were must-see TV. Folks, we got to head to a second break. We're going to be back finishing up our talk with Tucker Carlson about Tucker Carlson. As soon as the break is over, we'll see you soon.
So, Michael, when you take a look at smaller coins, I mean, it's one thing to invest in it for the world's falling apart, and I need to be able to have something to be able to barter with. And if I have a big bullion cube, a big block, 100 ounce or whatever, it becomes difficult. But sometimes you probably have a mix in a portfolio if you want to be one of those people that take possession of it. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that is an awesome question. And I always say there's a dance between price and size. So I'll kind of look at the two buckets that you want to have, covered. One is your long-term buy and hold retirement kind of type, retirement account purchase of gold and silver, the multi-year buy and hold stuff that you don't plan on taking out. You don't want to withdraw your metal from your IRA. You want to leave it in there. You want to protect yourself first and foremost. But of course, the last couple of years, protection actually pays very well, of course. So larger bullion bars, that's what my retirement account is. Okay, it's kilo bars, 100-ounce silver bars, the stuff that you'll pay the least for, because think of it as like, buying in bulk, right? The bigger the bar, the cheaper it is to make, the less you'll pay, the more ounces you'll get. Smaller items have a role in everyone's portfolio, but it's more as like an insurance product. It's not so much I'm holding it long term to make the most money. You want to have it in case of some kind of an emergency, but you don't buy insurance thinking or hoping that you need it. You buy it in case you do. So silver coins, I've got a bunch of them in this safe here behind me. I can go down the road and barter with the farmer for eggs or produce or meat or whatever I need in that kind of disaster scenario. So you want to have the insurance bucket ticked. That's the smaller, more transactional type of bullion items that you want at home, at your fingertips at all times. But then the longer term buy and hold, retirement account, wealth preservation type stuff, you want to be in the larger, bigger products that'll allow you to buy more ounces. That's our strategy, and that's what we work with. And everyone's got a little bit of a different situation. So finding that balance between price and size is our goal and working with every client.
Welcome back to Open Range. I'm Perry Schumacher. With me tonight is Leon Francis. Leon, we were finishing up our discussion with Tucker Carlson, pre Charlie Kirk assassination and post Charlie Kirk assassination. You got anything else to say? Like I said, I just think a person has to use a little discernment with him now, and he's not as high on the ladder as he used to be with me. I would say that.
I would say that as long as you use discernment, like again with me, I have folks that'll say, why would you ever listen to Tucker Carlson? Well, he made some really good points, and they were fact based. Now, I'm not an ideologue. I don't take everybody. Like, he's not a deity to me. He's not infallible to me. So I can listen to an argument and go, well, that makes sense, draw through lines to actual logic and data. And I can also listen to him on the other side of one of his and know, well, he's kind of BSing me right now. So I can do two things at once.
Do you think him and the president have a riff? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I know that they talk to each other a lot. Tucker talks about it. Do you think that anything is possible with Trump, right? Him and Elon Musk had a riff for a while. Do you think that riff gets solved as we head to the midterms?
I hope so, because Tucker, despite what I think about some of his commentary here to date, has a huge following.
Yes.
Huge following. So they're going to have to. I don't want to see any. I don't want to see Trump compromise anything to facilitate that. I want him to use his brain, which, though flawed, has been brilliant, without this outside, what I believe may be touched by a little madness by some folks in his circle. Just use discernment, and I'm hoping they mend the rift.
Okay, let's head to topic 4. Several months ago on our Due North Political podcast, for a joke, we riffed about the idea how the left would celebrate America's 250th birthday, which is now just a few days away. I wanted to show a screenshot, Luke. I think you have one of a CNN poll. Here it shows that it says 27% of Democrats say they'll display a flag on the 4th of July. Just 29% of Democrats say they're extremely or very proud to be an American. Evidently, if you see an American flag out in front of somebody's house on the 4th of July, best bet is they're a Republican. We made fun of this a few months ago, Leon, but reality sometimes bites you, right?
Yep. And I think I said back then, the fact, like, if I have an American flag on my truck, I won't drive in certain neighborhoods because of that, because it is automatically seen as alt-right. You know, and until I roll the window down, they'll think there's some white guy in there with a KKK hood on, and that
was bought by the SPLC.
Yep. and I sit and I think about, like, my ancestors, people in my family that fought for this country, that were happy when they were able to, serve in the armed forces, like the Tuskegee Airmen and folks like. This is a beautiful country, man. It's a beautiful country, and we all fought hard. We had different routes to get here, but we all have sweat and blood equity into this thing. And Democrats have Elon Musk talks about the mind virus. That's what's going on here, man. Their brains have so been deteriorated by this mind virus that they hate the very thing that gives them the freedom to hate the very thing. It's sad to me. I proudly display my American flag, my MAGA flag, my Gadsden flag, all the things. So
they have this great American fair. I think there's going to be millions of people through there this weekend. But there's some states that won't even put on a booth at it because I assume it's because of Trump, but yeah. I assume I don't know what we'd be celebrating if we had a Democrat president. But for a few days, we just can't put this aside. And that's why I continually say politics is in the water table. It's everywhere, and it's never going away anymore.
Did you? So I think last week I had Harry Enton, the poll that showed, Republicans, we stay right here with our patriotism through Obama, through Biden, even through the Bush years, like all the way, we're right around 80-90%. And Democrats, they seem to, and this is why propaganda is just so effective. With Democrats, it's only when their guy is in. And only when their guy is doing the things that they want, normally socialist crap and this and that. Republicans tend to be patriotic no matter what. No matter how the country is going, no matter how badly, the economy is, we still love America. That's not the same on the left. It's not the same. And as Steve Day says, sometimes it's hard to share a worldview with people like that. It's hard to share a country with people that hate the very thing that makes the country great.
25 years ago, it wasn't like that. Everybody go to the 4th of July parade. Now it's going to be interesting. I think there's some cities that are going to be put on fire. There's going to be some stores that glass is broke, that things are going to be stolen. I think that's going to happen in some cities across the United States. There's some cities that are even canceling 4th of July celebrations. It somehow we got here. I don't think we ever go back, but I miss the old days, right?
Yeah, we got to get those Asians on the rooftops to help those
I think
guys
there was
out.
even a poll recently, Harry Enton, speaking of him, said like 56% of Democrats wish they lived in a different country. Leon, are you willing to cough up a couple $100 and we just start buying tickets? We gotta get rid of some Haitians and some. The Supreme Court allowed that this week, and some Syrians, so maybe we put some Democrats on those planes as well. They want a different country. I'll even let them choose where they want to go.
Let them go. There's no AC there. Wherever they're going, there's no AC, like in America. So I'll chip in.
Speaking of 4th of July, what do you got planned for the 4th of July?
Oh, fireworks, hanging out with cool patriots like Bob Wheeler and, some other folks, a future treasurer, hopefully, Michael Coachman, and just, enjoying my family, my friends, and this great country of ours.
And have some really good food, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm a Southern boy, so obviously.
There's going to be a little shrimp on the grill or what?
Little shrimp on the Barbie? Absolutely.
I saw it was kind of neat to see. Drove to Minneapolis last week during the week to go see the Dodgers play the Twins, and on the way I see a van. We're passing them, and they've got it stenciled in marker on their windows. DC or bust. They were coming all the way from Alaska, and it said 250th birthday. That was kind of my wife and I gave them a thumbs up as we went by them, and I hope a lot of people across the country are making their way to DC to see this. It sure sounds like they're going to put on a show. I just don't want it to be, we saw a couple of weeks ago, some of these musicians were refused because the left is going to make sure you abide by their rules. So they were canceling their appearances. I don't want it to turn into a political event. Trump can't turn it into a political rally for Republicans. That's unnecessary on that day.
Yeah, I hope he sticks to the script. I would hate to see that also, but Trump sometimes goes off.
He can't help himself, but I think that would sour me on it. I would turn it off off the TV if that would happen. He's got to have some discipline there. This is for the country. It's not for Republicans and Democrats.
He does love this country, though. I mean, everything in his background, even when he was a Democrat, everything says he loves this country. His family, we talked about a little bit about it last night. His family loves this country. Absolutely is enamored with America and Americana. So I hope that comes through. Because when I see him and I see him talking about, American history and the America he loves, that's what comes through to me. I mean, obviously, I kind of clench up whenever he goes off script and goes on a tangent and all of that. I'm like, bring it back, bring it back. But guy loves America, hopes he sticks to the script on that and not make it some big political stump speech. Make it an American stump speech.
Today we have him in North Dakota. He's visiting the Teddy Roosevelt new memorial and museum. So we've got him here in North Dakota. It'll be interesting I think I saw he's hitting Mount Rushmore again. I hope that some of these American majestic sites have some amazing demonstrations and fireworks shows all across the country. Niagara Falls, Yellowstone, places like you don't get your 250th birthday all that often.
No, and the way things are going,
I don't know if we're going to make it to 300.
Yeah, we're young, but we are the oldest independent. This structure that we have right now has never worked anywhere else. And then you look at the Roman Empire, you look at the Ottoman Empire. They all outlast us. We are babes in the woods right now, and we're due for a little shakeup. So we need to figure out a way to gel this country back together, hopefully not through a war or something, but through just a a reignition of American patriotism. That even during the civil rights era and all of that, you had a cohesion around that. Even when the Italians hated the Irish and the whites hated the blacks and the vice versa, the one thing that they could all unite behind was that founding ideal of the American flag and what Americana stood for in principle. That we got to get back to that. We can't do this whole 20% Democrat and 80% Republican. We can't do that.
Especially on days like that. We have the rest of the year to argue about that. And going back to how we started this particular question, when we talked that night on our podcast, I was hoping that this would turn into a patriotic thing around it. The fever would just hit the country, you know what I mean? Left and right.
Like that Swedish guy that came here and just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think he was German actually. The guy that with the soccer stuff posting about and it's people from all over the world are just, wow, this is America. This is not what I've heard about America. And so I was hoping that would hit the right and the left. The realist in me knew it wasn't going to happen, and it shows that it's not.
Agreed and sad.
Yeah, we'll see what the weekend brings, but I'm looking forward to it. Hope everybody enjoys their 4th of July. Folks, we got to head to our last break. I'll be back with Perry's perspective. I've got a birthday wish for America. We'll see you soon.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza. Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Welcome back to Open Range. I'm Perry Schumacher. We're now ready for Perry's perspective. I usually end every show with it. We'll get Leon's thoughts on it when I'm finished. Tonight, it's America's birthday wish. For me, it started in 5th grade with the book Johnny Tremain. Set in Boston in 1773 to 1775, it followed a young man's journey through the Boston Tea Party, Paul Revere's ride, and the birth of the American Revolution. That book lit the patriot light inside me. Later that year, we studied in 5th grade the Declaration of Independence. The words, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, and we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor," filled me with respect for the brilliance of the men who created this country. It was in 5th grade that history stopped being a subject and became something to learn from. Reading history has been one of my hobbies ever since. Like so many in our state, my family of German Russians came from Odessa, Russia, to South Central North Dakota. 2 separate families who saw danger rising up in their country and knew it wouldn't end well. God bless the ones who risked everything to become Americans. Staying behind meant imprisonment and or death, with the rise of socialism to eventual communism. Becoming American is not automatic nor guaranteed. It is a deliberate process to assimilate. You adapt to our culture. You fully support the Bill of Rights and our Constitution and our economic system. You stand proud of this country, flaws and all, always saluting the flag and willing to defend her here and abroad. That used to be the norm for nearly every immigrant family history in this country. Paradoxically, our ancestors once fled tyranny. Now we raise it or import it into our own country. Ellis Island would be condemned as an abomination by far too many on the left. This brood of vipers has metastasized on the left for decades. Just last week in New York, and again last night, several self-proclaimed Democrat socialists, a polite word for godless communists, tomato, won their primaries. If they win in November, they'll be sworn into Congress, taking an oath to a constitution they fundamentally reject. Let that sink in. This isn't a fluke. DSA activists now serve as mayors in many of America's largest cities and serve on more city councils. One won again last night in Colorado. Their movement is growing because they are motivated and committed. My ancestors recognized the warning signs. We must recognize them too. That is, if we can pull our heads up from our phones or the latest football game. One of the clearest lessons from history is that socialists and communists always purge their own side first. They must consolidate power before turning outward. Hakeem Jeffries learned that the hard way last week when he tried to tame the wealthy white liberal women who carried these socialists to victory. They shouted back, "You're next." Power must be obtained before it can be fully exercised. Our local chumbalones, folks like Heidkamp and Port, still don't seem to realize they will be the first ones shivved in the back. Your grandpa's Democrat is the first obstacle to these socialists reaching their total power. By the time they realize these anti-Americans must be stopped, it will be too late. For now, they're viewed as useful idiots, monsters they can keep under the bed, while they focus on the true danger, people like Leon and me. The delusion would be funny if it weren't so damn sad. Hell, even James Carville said last week that his own party has gotten too crazy for him. Imagine. As we approach America's 250th birthday, we should be reflecting on the incredible gift our founders gave us. Instead, we have wolves in our midst who openly want to tear it down. People who despise the principles of our Constitution are being elected to swear an oath to it. Who knew Joseph McCarthy was Nostradamus? So like my ancestors had a choice, the choice before us is, will we hear the warning signs and act, or will we scroll, watch football, and let liberty slip away on our watch? My birthday wish for America is that we do not take our future for granted. Those who stayed in Odessa long ago had a future of misery. Johnny Tremain stepped up when it mattered and acted, securing liberty for those who would fight for it. Now it's our turn. Socialism never was nor never will be defining the American spirit. We should reject it with prejudice. Leon, tell me a little bit how you became a patriot and how you see America going forward. What's your birthday wish?
Well, I became a patriot, and it started oddly enough. My mom and dad were both solid Democrats. The community I grew up in was solid Democrat, but I saw that our community never got any better, and that the values that my mom and dad were instilling in us was being put on the back burner. The Christian moral value set that built this country, that this country was founded on, was alien to one party in particular. I'm from the party of like Booker T. Washington and Frederick Douglass and the pride that came through with the Tuskegee Airmen and folks like that, the Larry Elders, the Thomas Sowells, the folks like that. So I don't think I ever identified as a Democrat. Like I never voted in my entire life as a Democrat. But I did think that I was a Democrat because my mom and dad were Democrats, that sort of thing. And then I left Louisiana. I struck out on my own. I fell multiple times, but I always saw the vision that my dad instilled in me and all of these great black thinkers instilled in me. Not the new age black thinkers that think that liberty is somehow a hindrance, but state control, that's virtuous. Not those guys. I'm talking about the old school black patriots. And that's who I identify with. And I think if we can get back to that mindset, the bootstrap mindset, the mindset that, to make this thing work, you got to have some dignity, you got to have some pride, and you got to have some discipline. So you get married, you stick it out, you raise a family. That generation is better than the generation that you came from, and you build on that dream. That was the dream of my ancestors that came here in shackles, were freed, built themselves up. Even during the civil rights era, they were building things. They had it hard, and they knew what the American dream was supposed to be as opposed to what it was at that time, and they built on that. And they got us to a point where liberals had to help us out, and it's been downhill ever since. What I hope this, with our 250th birthday, what I hope going forward is more people's eyes are open. I'm seeing a glimmer of that, especially in social media. I'm seeing a lot more folks that were in that other camp, their eyes being open to censorship. I mean, I heard, who was that? Nicki Minaj on tax policy, her eyes being open to how much money that the government was stealing from her, and going, hey, wait a minute, we open more people's eyes to common sense, and I think we have a shot. As long as we have actual free and open press, as long as we have a reignition of the moral foundings that built this country, we're going to be all right.
I referenced the monsters under the bed, and the Democrat Party has a problem. These people are motivated, and they're coming, and it is not going to end well for a Democrat. They're going to take you out first. There was a group of Democrats in Congress that tried to sign a Promise to America pledge, fighting against Democrat socialists. A whole 13 Democrats signed it this week. So they know who they should fear, and they don't want to get in front of that freight train, or they want to be at the front of that freight train. One of the two. They know if they upset them, they're going to be taken out, and they're just going to, I guess they think they can tame the monsters under their bed. You don't tame communists. No, you don't. History teaches us that.
Their policies lead to an inevitable conclusion. And I think that they're seeing this. I think that you cannot have the policies that we've seen, the policy positions that we've seen, and remain a blue dog Democrat. You can't do it. We've talked about this before. Even Bill Clinton wouldn't be welcome. The Bill Clinton back then wouldn't be welcome in the Democrat Party now. So the crazy, the fringe, the percentage, the fraction of a percentage of the crazy in the Democrat Party has now taken over the party because all of their policy positions has moved them to that position. It will be hard to course correct. And it's like you said, they're going to eat them first. They're going to eat their own first. And we are seeing that 100%. At New York, you made that, you use that example, 100% that. These people see liberty as a hindrance. They see state control as a virtue. That cannot work going forward.
It kind of gives me a little comfort knowing that they're going to be taken out first before they come for me. So I'm going to have a little bit of warning when I see that happening, and it's beginning to. Hakeem Jeffries was yelled at the other night, "You're next." When we see those happening, then maybe the rest of the people in America will wake up, and I think you're going to see a lot of Democrat converts that are going to all of a sudden go, those Republicans aren't so bad. Folks, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Leon, thank you for being on. It was great to hear your opinion. We'll have you back at the end of the summer. Enjoy your barbecue in a couple days. Folks, have a good evening. Thanks for watching Open Range.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Hello, friends. This is Culture Crossroads. Join me, Andrew Southwick, and my co-hosts, R.C. Williams and Juliana Ormond, as we tackle the issues shaping America. From politics to pop culture, to faith, freedom, family, and the future. From a faith-based conservative perspective that you won't get anywhere else. We stand at the intersection of faith and freedom. This is Culture Crossroads. Culture Crossroads, Sundays at 5 p.m. Central on Beck TV.
Hi, I'm Scott Hinnon, host of the What's on Your Mind program on Beck TV now. From Baker, Montana to St. Cloud, Minnesota, and everywhere in between, we're looking forward to having a conversation with you about what matters most. We're talking to newsmakers from members of Congress to the state legislature, and most importantly, the good folks that make up the great state of North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Montana. Every single day, you get a chance to tell us what's on your mind. And now you can watch What's on Your Mind live on Beck TV.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Hey, I'm Corey Heppola, and a long time ago, I left my small town for a big city. Now, I wonder, what would it be like to move rural?
Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't have nice things.
So, I'm traveling to different small towns across the Midwest to find out.
It's like every year in the spring, there's always like a revitalization of just excitement.
This is my town.
Oh, jeez!
Sunday night, 6:30 on Beck TV.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.